Are you ready? You put in the time, you got the gear. In fact, everything you carry is designed for a specific purpose to give you maximum advantage. Except your glasses. Introducing purpose-built optics, scientifically formulated and optimized for your specific pursuit. At Hook 'em Bullet, we believe sight casting for redfish is different from pitching a bait to a billfish, flipping to a bass on a bed, or live scoping for crappie. Each environment has unique visual cues and demands. You spend a lot of time and treasure feeding an undeniable passion. Don't take a Snoopy pole to a marlin fight. Make the most of every opportunity.
Your early morning mentality is your every hour mentality. All gas, no brakes. Focus, purpose, power. Destined for the water, but confident everywhere else. A calming buzz before the storm, the truth of nature itself. You can't catch lightning in a bottle. There's a limit out there, but it's not with your gear. Unrelenting power delivery. Unparalleled weight savings. Keeping you on the water whether you run a 9-9 or outscoping your best 5. In this rare air, there's power in the silence. It's a mindset, thinking only of the things that matter and freeing your mind from the things that you trust.
It's the moment when everything is on the line and precision, power, and control make all the difference. A moment over 20 years in the making, anchored on loyalty, trust, and support that goes beyond all expectations. A relentless pursuit of perfection. All born from a revolutionary idea to help you rule the water. Power Pole.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Twisted Cat Outdoors podcast, where we give you information on tournaments, events, everything in the catfishing world, bringing you value, tips and tricks, things that you can do out there on the water. Let's get this show started.
I think that just set a Twisted Cat Outdoors 3-fish record.
Hey everybody, welcome. Monday night, December 16th at 7 o'clock. We're kind of getting back as we're just a few weeks away from our first tournament in 2025. I know some of you seen me on our Facebook reel yesterday, and somehow the video made my head a little bit bigger than it normally is. So I'm not sure what happened on that. But anyways, we're really excited to get the season kicked off. Last year, New Year's Eve weekend, we were down at Lake of the Ozarks, and this year we're heading to Decatur, Alabama. So we're pretty pumped about that, and like I said, we've almost got, actually tonight after this podcast, I'm getting on teams with Cody Kanaki that's done some of our videos and a lot of our artwork, and he's going to help get us some other events added. Burlington, Keystone Lake, Alton Catfish Classic, and hopefully by the end of the week we have almost everything wrapped up except the championship, but we do have the date, which will be November 8th for the championship for 2025. And real quick, while I'm on that subject, if if everybody remembers the Twisted Cat Championship has a certain logo. Let's see if it'll. There you go. So that's the 2023. So all the anglers that fish the 2023 Twisted Cat Outdoors Championship is going to get this sticker. All the anglers that fish the 2024 championship will get this sticker. So as you can tell, just their different year and some colors on them. And then we already got the 2025 from our boy Danny Christensen. So we got stickers. So if you've made it every year, these last 3 years, you get a sticker for each one. And I've not been in the sticker game much, but it's like once a week people are asking me about stickers. And I did have some more Twisted Cat stickers coming. And then also got these bad boys, if you remember the shirts. There we go. So Danny did these, and these are, as you can tell, they'll peel here. None of this white will be on there, and I'll try to get those online as soon as possible. So we'll have some decals, and then for those that made the championships, you'll get a decal. So that'll be pretty cool too. I'll reach out to everybody on that. What's up, Scott? Mr. Rupert? I'm ready to go chase them walleye. Mr. Trey Stroop. And Palmetto Cats is in the house. He thought I wanted to look like that. Oh, that's cool. Our show is nominated for a Golden Whisker Award. So, yeah, boom, we're live. So, yeah, almost every Monday night we're doing this podcast. And, again, always just trying to, bring new people in, talk about the tournaments that we're doing, other events, bringing anglers, and then giving everybody that's watching just some good advice on fishing. New sub, how's it going? What's up? Living Life Daily with Jay. What's going on, man? We just want to give everybody value from, if you're wanting to get into tournament fishing. Just before this show, I was on a phone call with a gentleman that just him and his 12-year-old nephew are wanting to start to get into some catfishing tournaments. Asked about the grassroots, which we offer the grassroots series with every tournament we do. Instead of the $300 entry, 100% payback, it's a $100 entry, 100% payback, and it's a way to kind of just get your foot wet, see if it's something you want to be a part of, but not spend that $300. And that's always every tournament. Sometimes we have one, sometimes we don't have any, sometimes we have maybe 3 or 4, so it just kind of depends. What's up, Mr. Mike Mitchell? Pull my microphone up. Are you making fun of my microphone, or can you hear me? Tell me how that sounds, Palmetto Cats. If I sound all right. Hey, you be coming out here soon on this live. What's up, Uncle Lou? Towards me, so you can hear me better. Need to have a sound guy up here. All right, how does that sound? Tom says sounds like Alex. I don't know what that means. Tom, can you hear me okay? Palmetto's just wanting to see my mic, see what I'm working with here. The first mic, whatever mic this is, my nephew had a gaming mic, so that's where I got that. But I don't even know how to really use it. It just makes colors. But anyways, so again, we just got a lot of things coming for 2025. We're going to release a lot of dates. I made a post on the Alton Catfish Classic page last week. Funny thing about social media, I went on there and I put a question, would you want to see the tournament September or October? And 90% of the people didn't answer. They just put other things in there. But anyways, Devin, what's going on, man? I'm glad. Much better is what Tom said. What's up, Chris White? So again, if there's any questions you guys have on anything we have coming up, like I said, our first tournament just a few weeks away. I just made a post on the Bama Blue page. We've got 43 registered teams. So everything will kind of play like it did last year. about the same number of tournaments. I think the Alton Classic is actually going to be on the points for Twisted Cat. We just want to try to get a few more points events out there for everybody. The championship dates November 8th. We'll release a few more dates tonight. After tonight, all Twisted Cat events should be updated, except maybe for one or two, and they're in August, and I'm still working on those. And then again, really quick, I will see if I can just share my screen, because I know quite a few have been asking, how the easiest way to check on the events, and it's right here. So I'll share that. So if you look, here's the main Facebook page. Granted, this is on a desktop, but right when you go to the Twisted Cat Outdoors page, pops up. You can tell, obviously, we're live here. You scroll down. The quickest thing to always do is right here, I've got our featured section. Usually I have other things in here sometimes, but I'll always have the upcoming events in this featured. If you don't want to go there, you can also always hit more and then go to events here. But you just go to see all events. This is the quickest way you're going to find anything that we're involved in. So obviously happening now, Catfish News in 2025 season preview. And then we've got Bama Blues 2025. The reason it shows two events on here is one of them is the Bama Blues Facebook page that linked Twisted Cat. So these are just the same event, but just two different events. One's through the Bama Blues page, so the people that don't follow Twisted Cat can follow along. So if you follow, you got January 4th Bama Blues, and then you go over here, February 1st, Lake Ray Hubbard, March 1st, Alton, Illinois, March 15th, Fort Smith, Fort Madison, Pekin, Perryville, New Madrid, Savannah. So these are the tournaments we have up. And again, like always, I'm going to do much better this year. When you go to an event, let's say that you're going to go to Perryville, you click Perryville, it'll take you there, and you go to discussion, and I'm going to start updating a lot of this stuff where I'll have videos on here on explaining everything from the rules, the fish limits, the rods, the hotels, everything. I'm working on that on the website, but the website I don't do any code, unfortunately. But again, website, the quickest way to register, you hit registration and you scroll down. Obviously, all these are going to change this week, and they're going to go to like this one. So the only one that's live is the Bama Blues. So you click that, and then this page will pull up. This will be on the ACA, actually not the ACA, the tournament management system that Twisted Cat is using. And it's still a little slow. Like I said, I'm trying to get the back end working better and building my own website, but it just takes a little time. Get to drive my boss crazy tomorrow with vacation request. Interesting, Tom. Yeah. So here you go. You got your registration page pulls up. Here you're going to have hotels and accommodations, rules, registrations about the tournament, live results. So you just go down. If you want to register, you register there. You can hit view currently registered teams. We've got 43 teams for this event. I think I hit what did I hit there? I wanted to hit rules. Will Alton Classic entry fee be Twisted Cat entry price as? No. Alton Classic will still be, I'm 99% sure, $500. But we're going to add, I think the plan is to add that for a point since we run that event, Sean. Anyways, that's the rules. It's loading. Blake, as of right now, there'll be no Muscatine this year. So any questions on registration, events, how to find stuff, like things are going to really start flying out. Okay, so here's the rules for Bama Blues. These are pretty much kind of copied for the most part from what George is doing in the past and working with Chris Ramsey. Nothing crazy, but this just kind of goes over all that stuff. Since we, are doing this tournament now, George was doing it. It's kind of ran through some different hands. It's been a long-running event. But pretty excited about that. And again, everything this year is $300. A Twisted Cat specific event is $300 with 100% payback. So really excited about getting things going off. Bama Blues, January 4th. Again, January 2nd will be the captain's meeting. And with weather, if we have to move it to January 3rd, which is on that Friday. So yeah, you're going to start seeing a lot of things come through on social media. And again, don't hesitate to call me. Don't send the Twisted Cat Facebook message because I get so much spam on there. So just call me directly or text me, and I'll get back to you. So Sean, I kind of hope I answered your question. Blake, I'll let you know soon on that. And yeah, Timothy, we're excited about that tournament also. But without further ado, we've got to bring a special guest, one I've been waiting a long time for. I've got to fish with him. He's going to be bringing my son presents here in a week or so. Not Santa Claus, but he has dressed up as Santa Claus. Mr. Cole Delp. And we really want to congratulate him also. A big third place finish this weekend down in Columbia Bottoms. New tournament angler. And we'll have to kind of talk about how he got going in the sport and all that. But let's bring him in and chat. So without further ado, what's up, Cole?
What's going on, man? What's going on, man?
Well, first off, congratulations on your third place tournament out of Columbia Bottoms.
It seems
that's better than we did.
There was only 5 boats.
Listen. You never say how many boats there are.
I would get made fun of if I didn't.
Yeah, you never say how many boats there are. So no, I got to go out with Cole. We did a Christmas. I'm not sure how we're gonna call this thing, but I guess we called it the first annual cookie jar. And the whole thing is Cole called me and we were just chatting on the phone. Liz and I were on our way down to Louisiana. And Cole's like, when are we going to go fish? I'm like, you know what? I got to go to a wedding next Friday night or something. I'm like, I'll bring the boat down and we'll just go out Saturday. And when we came back, I called him and I said, hey, we're actually going to make this fishing trip of ours into a tournament.
It looks like I'm getting an echo on the audio.
Let me try something. Hold on. All right, what about, is he still getting an echo? Wonder why I'm not hearing it.
Do I still have an echo? I do on my end.
You got an echo on your end. Is it from you talking?
Yep. I hear myself twice.
It's not on your phone or anything? I wonder how you hear yourself twice. Lots of echo. You know, are you got Facebook pulled up too?
What's that?
Do you have Facebook or YouTube pulled up or just the StreamYard?
Just this. I can close everything else out on my browser. Is that any better at all?
Is that any better, everybody? It's only on your end. I wonder... Is your mic, I wonder, close to the speakers?
It's above the computer.
I wonder if you moved the mic.
I don't think it's going to change it.
Let me try something. Now say something.
Something.
Is there still an echo? Maybe it's coming from my mic.
I don't know. I hear it. Hear myself twice.
Here, I'm gonna mute mine and say something and see if it's kick him out of StreamYard and have him come back in. It's better, they said. Here, now say something.
Is there still an echo? The echo's gone on my end now.
So the echo I wonder if it's coming from my mic. What about now?
Can you still hear an echo? I can now.
You can hear the echo now?
Yep.
You know what? I wonder if that's why some people wear headsets when they do their podcast. Your microphone is too good. Oh, you're killing me. It was gone just a minute ago when you moved to mic. All right. Now, does he still have an echo?
Do I have an echo now? That's odd. When you muted it, though, the echo was completely gone.
Yeah, let me do something on my mic. Hold on a second. Okay, what about now?
On my end?
On now?
What's that?
Can you hear it now?
I can hear it a little bit. Well, now it's back like full-fledged on my end.
Why is everybody saying it sounds good?
I think that they're a little bit behind the stream. Well, it's good now. I don't hear an echo.
You're good now?
Yep.
I changed a setting. All right, give us a thumbs up. Everybody's saying it's good. Maybe it was a setting I had. I just did. Maybe
Yeah,
I just need them big earmuffs.
I think it's gone.
All right, so everybody, it's gone. Maybe we're in the wrong industry. We need to be like in sound technology or something.
I don't think
Sean
we
says
should
it's
be
good.
as much problems as we're having right now.
Dustin said, don't touch it.
Perfect.
Okay, so what are we talking about? We were talking about,
Me saving us in that tournament.
yes. Okay, so is it still good though, everybody?
Yeah, I don't hear myself again, so.
And then there's a bunch of weird settings on this, but if everybody hears me good, that's good. So what I was talking about is cold call. We were going to go fishing, and on my way back from Louisiana, Liz was driving, and Scott, I'm going to kill you.
He got another one from me this weekend.
And I said, you know what? I was thinking there's a logo I created back in 2019, me and Tim Berger, and we did the first reindeer games. And if everybody's seen it, it was the Santa Claus. I think I might have that too. But it was a Santa Claus picture. And I said, I'm so competitive. I said, let's make this fun, invite a bunch of people, and, just see where it goes. And I made a post, and then the post kind of blew up. And really, we started that a week out. Wouldn't you say?
Yep, there was no heads up really at all.
And I said I want it to be super simple, nothing crazy. Let's see. Okay, here it is. This was actually drawn by a tattoo artist. So that was the logo. And anyways, we had 17 boats show up. So it's kind of cool. It's got some rod holders. It's a catfish pulling a sleigh. Look, I can't tell if that's Tom or Cole that he's pulling, but a pretty cool logo. And we brought it back, and I thought, man, that's cool. Let's just make this a fun cookie jar tournament. You know what I mean? Something that I can personally fish and just kind of see where it goes. I love Klondike and Defiance, which is one of the nicest ramps on the Missouri River with a boat ramp. I said, I just want a bunch of people that can relax, have fun. And when I say, this is what I mean when I say relax. If you remember, Cole, we were trying to get everybody in. We had salt. Actually, the team Sean was throwing salt down for me on the ramp to help everybody. And it was 7:42 when I looked at my watch. and nobody was complaining. Like everybody was just ready to go whenever. Like everybody was super chill, and some crazy good weights. So anyways, we're gonna do that same thing. I'm sorry for the people that will not get to fish it, but next year, December 13th, I think it's going to land on. It's going to be 20 boats max, which I think we'll probably already have that. There were 17 teams that fished it. So we're do 20 boats max and just kind of play off of it, have fun. It was a fun event. Do like dress up and do boats and do plaques. And I think Jake and Ashley were going to do some plaques for this past event and then kind of build off of that logo. So that'll be something fun for next year. If you fished it last year, obviously you get to your first dibs to fish it again, but we're only going to do 20 boats. I think 20 boats is super plenty. And that'll be fun. But yeah, so it was so much fun. It was so much fun. And it's not about, it's just about, I mean, definitely wanted to catch fish, but we just had a blast. The side bets and the trash talk was so much fun.
And you got to hang out with 2 Santa Claus all day.
I got to hang out with 2 Santa Claus all day. And I lost $80 and 4 $20 side bets, which I still owe Sean Cannon a $20 bill. But one piece of advice I can give everybody, I counted my money. Now this is probably over 4 years. I have $480 in $20 signed bills. The best piece of advice I can give you is make sure you know who you're betting. You know, don't bet against people you think that'll probably beat you. You know, and that's I screwed up at the cookie jar tournament because we got almost last place.
Well, I mean, I thought I learned my lesson in the cookie jar by not betting Scott Linton, but he got another signed 20 from me this past weekend. So 2 in a row.
I got a guy
on signed 20s.
Scott, do I've got one of your signed 20s? I think I do.
Yes,
I gotta look back. John, I had 2 Santas in there all day. It was wild.
Yeah, John was texting me telling me he wished he could have come hung out with us, but he didn't. So he went hunting, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to get one this year. I promise you that. I'm pretty sure we bet last year at Memphis at MRM. So maybe you still owe me a 20. But yeah, so, you know, I guess to kind of go back on how me and you met, I was at, is this 2 or 3 years ago now? Me and Rhett were down at the annual.
It's at least 2, if not 3.
Yeah, so I had my actually, yeah, because I just picked up the Dynasty and took it to that show, and then you rolled up. And who are you with?
I was with my wife and kids.
Oh, it was just your wife and kids? I thought there was somebody else walking with you.
There may have been.
And you came up and just kind of chatted. I had like everything set up. I had the power poles down. I had rods out, and Rhett and I were just kind of hanging out. And you talked about the boat and how you built a boat. And what was the name? What did you name it?
The Dynafitter.
The Dynafitter.
Yep.
Yeah.
80% Dynasty clone.
And you hadn't fished any tournaments, right?
I don't think I'd fished any at that point. I didn't even know what Twisted Cat was yet.
So yeah, and then 2 years later, you're kind of all in. You almost made the championship this year, fishing the last like 4 tournaments. Didn't get skunked in any, which is awesome. And I think you learned a lot in those 4, and pretty pumped, you know, for 2025. You just bought a new boat through John Daniels. You just haven't picked up yet.
We may have got something.
So yeah, so it's cool when you see new people. That's always my goal, is to show people, like, you know, you don't have to be some crazy fisherman that's been doing it 25 years. I mean, you can see a lot of anglers that are just getting into it, especially younger anglers that are getting in. They're hungry. They're really doing good. You know, Dylan Lawson, Tyson Emery, those guys from up in Iowa that have really gotten good chasing some of these tournaments. And as you can see, they're not easy. I mean, there's a lot of good anglers. But I
Yeah,
think you learn. Would you say you learn a lot at each tournament?
we definitely learn a lot about each body of water. I mean, you show up and you've never been there before. You know you're up against guys that clearly could just clean you out at any tournament, anywhere, and you got to at least try to compete in it. I mean, it's difficult. I've done a lot of home tournaments and against friends and stuff, and that stuff's pretty easy. Now I don't do good, but that stuff's pretty simple. It's a home body of water. When you go out and have to locate fish on a body of water you've never seen before, it's difficult. But the guys in your trailer are doing it every single week. So, you just got to find where you fall in and hope for the best. And usually we fall in like the bottom 75%.
Well, I don't know. I mean, like I said, to come. I mean, you fished 4 bodies of water that you've never been on. I mean, Keystone Lake, Pool 19, and Burlington. I mean, going to those bodies of water and catching fish consistently is a challenge already. Because every tournament you go to, just because we're going to, Alton March 1st, when it should be some of the best fishing to go to Alton, doesn't mean it's going to land on the best fishing, because it's probably going to be 80 degrees 2 days before, and then go down to 32 degrees the day of the tournament, and everything that you did days before is changing. And that's what makes a lot of these anglers, JT Ray, and a lot of these guys that are studs, they got to know what to do when that happens, like how to adapt. What do I got to do? Did those fish move deep? Did they go shallow? Or are they short biting? Like what things can I change? And I think that when you see the anglers that are always on top, it's that. And that's what makes me think.
They move and they change so much. Like over the weekend, we were at Columbia Bottoms for that tournament. And, we're fishing the Missouri River. We were fishing pretty much every single dike that we could get on that had mud. We marked fish. We weren't getting nothing. The water temp's 37 degrees. So after fishing all day, we'd caught like an 8-pound fish. We decided we was running all the way down through the confluence and running up to the Mel Price. And we had 8 minutes to fish the Mel Price 4 lines out. And we had a 28-pounder in the boat within 6 minutes. Right on a current seam, in the heavy current. Didn't really make much sense for him to be there, but that's where we found him in the middle of winter.
Yeah, I mean, just like when me, you, and Tom went out, I mean, the weather patterns just are so crazy, and you just never know, like, just like, Aaron Jarrell going down and being on some fish for the championship, a week before, and that the championship changed drastically. Water levels, water temp, just on Thursday, a huge cold front came in, and the fishing in Helena turned off, and it was not the weigh-in that you would expect out of Helena on the lower Mississippi River. So, being able to adapt and seeing that, and that's what I told the gentleman that I was on the phone with earlier tonight. I said, what's cool is, instead of going fishing Burlington by yourself on a Saturday and you get skunked and have a bad day, it was just a crappy day of fishing. But when you fish against 50 or 60 other boats, and I promise you, 3 or 4 of them had the best day of their lives on that body of water.
Somebody's
and you learn
always had the best day ever.
Somebody's always in a tournament, and that's what's cool is you just don't know what that is, but you learn. You know what I mean? What did they do? Was it bait? Was it the depth? Was it different rigs? So there's so much, and especially over the last really 2 years, now you have anglers doing so many different things, from dragging baits, suspending baits, anchor, bumping. There's a lot of different ways, to catch fish.
Yeah, we need
someone always finds the fish.
We're not very good at bumping. I think that would help us out a bunch. But I mean, I started in the Missouri River trying to bump 20-ounce weights. I mean, I wasn't trying. I was, because I really didn't know what the hell I was doing. But we got it figured out pretty quick. Enough trips where my forearm felt like it was going to fall off. I found out how not to bump a 20-ounce weights real quick.
Yeah, that's rough, bouncing with 20-ounce weights. But like I said, and then you just learn, and everybody has their own technique. And you can watch Jason and Daryl Massengale fish a spot that they can always catch fish in, and another team go there and they can never catch a fish in that spot. Just everybody has their own little techniques that work, that it doesn't work for other anglers. So like I said, it's cool to see if it's an anchor bite, deep bite, especially like Alton. Even Alabama is going to be I think you see a lot more anglers doing that shallow water bite, on some of these lakes south. I know, like in Texas. So I'm kind of curious. I'm really excited for the January 6th show right after Bama Blues, and then to talk about how that went, and then go talking about Lake Ray Hubbard in Texas, which kind of, I don't know. I think you're going to see a lot of the same techniques. I know Alabama, the Weeder Lake is just such a big lake. There's so many different ways to fish it. And then weather depends on a lot of things too. Is it going to be nice? Is it going to be snowing, cold? So I don't know. What about bait? Is bait something? Obviously, you got some pretty good bait connections in the St. Louis area.
Well, we generally will go out and hope to find bait, and if not, we kind of rely on Jeff. He'll show up with bait out of nowhere most of the time. So, I mean, that's pretty nice. But, we go into these new bodies of water. We're just trying to target the same, areas that we do for bait. We'd like to have skipjack, but at the end of the day, that's not always possible. When you get there the day before the tournament, you might not find them. So, we'll go pick up some shad or, throw the net and find shad somewhere. I mean, you got to have fresh bait. I don't want to bring no frozen stuff.
So when you go to like Keystone, especially as a new tournament angler, like what are some of the things that do you take 2 or 3 cast nets? Are you taking a rod and reel, like specifically for, catching bait? Like what is your go-to? Or are you taking enough bait where if you don't catch bait, then you've got bait?
Generally, like all the tournaments, we'd show up and we would catch bait, the day before. Burlington, we marked, I thought was maybe some bait fish, and we pushed them up on the bank and we caught them. Keystone was kind of the same way. We struggled a little in Keystone. We weren't really finding the bait. I mean, we were finding some really small bait, but we got enough to fish. It didn't keep us from fishing. Savannah, that was the best bait that we had of anywhere because we just catch skipjack. But, the other ones were a little more difficult. Like Burlington, we knew everybody was dragging baits, but we had like a 50-pound bag the day before the tournament. So we're like, well, we probably shouldn't have kept fishing, but we were having too much fun. It kind of ruined it on tournament day. We got like 60th or some crazy stuff like that. Maybe not that bad, but it was pretty close.
Well, I think we almost weighed only 2 boats didn't weigh, I think. And again, when you're chasing points, like that sucks when everybody's weighing fish because you need those points. And, you take like a Nate Moore. I mean, they'd fished 8 tournaments and came like a point or 2 away from the top 50. And as the trail's growing, it's just so much harder to get into the championship, to get points, especially, as you go to, in each location, you take like a Burlington or a Fort Madison or an Alabama, you're going to have a lot of those, not locals, but like the regional people that might only fish 1 or 2 events.
Right.
They're going to be pretty good in that body of water. And then you got the people that are traveling, they're going to be really good. So it's like no event that you're going to go to is like a key. And like, I got a top 10. I love when people, which I'm going to pick on Aaron Jarrell, but he's like, I got a top 10 here guaranteed. Well, 10 years ago when I was doing this, I could tell you the top 10. I can't anymore.
Right.
I mean, it's tough.
See, like even, local stuff, like, obviously we're not the best fishermen around, but, we struggled this year in the Classic. The year before, well, prior to this year, I got skunked in every single tournament that I had entered. Every single one of them. It was like 12 in a row. And, I was kind of getting sick of getting skunked in tournaments. While we were in the Classic, we ended up not getting skunked. And then, like, we had, we weren't going to do the Twisted Cat Trail, but I think the night before or 2 nights before Burlington, I asked my buddy, I'm like, do you just want to go up there and see what happens? And then that turned into following every tournament the whole rest of the year. And it wasn't supposed to be like that, but I don't know, we had a lot of fun. We're like, well, what the hell, we'll do it. And I got to meet a lot of cool people doing it, got to meet John, got to meet, several people in, a bunch of different places that I wouldn't have known otherwise. You know what I mean? So that was probably the better part of it. We didn't catch very many good fish, but we, got a lot of good connections with people. So that was nice.
Yeah, especially, when you go to a place and let's say that, you get off work late on Friday and the bait didn't work out, or your buddy forgot something, knowing a John Williams that got there Thursday and found some good bait where he can give you 10 or 15 pieces of bait like that's a big deal. When you start to make those relationships,
Right.
in catfishing, it just helps you. I mean, I'm going to, me and Liz are going to go south again next week while Rhett's in Florida. And I'm sure last time we went down there, we were talking to Brent Riddle and Justin and Tabitha, we don't want to know where you were fishing. We just want to know like some of the things to look out for. What about bait? When Justin and Tabitha were down there, they're like, Justin had his shirt off. It was hot. I'm like, when we get down there, we're going to be wearing cold gear. It's going to be 30 degrees colder. The weather's going to suck, which did move some of the bait. But, bait's a big thing when you're going to a new body of water. I mean, it can cost you a lot of time, especially if you're an angler that is adamant on having good fresh bait. Or if you're like Kirk Lucky, that just go to the grocery store and get chicken. But I'll use chicken a lot more than I probably almost every time now, which is crazy to me still, but I still want good fresh bait.
Yeah, I think I posted a picture of you online trying to cook breakfast or cook lunch at like 10 o'clock in the morning last trip we went on. So,
yeah, that was me cutting into the chicken. But, I had some really, what our biggest blue in Venice was on chicken, believe it or not.
Is that all you fished with? Because, I mean, I could see that if that's all you fished with, but.
No, we had a lot of good bait. We had some. I'll tell you what. If anybody's ever used mullet, that is awesome bait.
Bring the good old Sunnies Triple S. Yep, that's how we catch them, Wally.
Hey, the Sunnies, Wally. That's made just by my house, man. The Triple S is some good stuff.
Alex probably smothered that on some chicken and grill it up.
Yeah, that's what Chris said. The best part of all that is the new friendships made fishing these tournaments. I wouldn't be doing, like I said, this will be the 11th year I've been running Twisted Cat, which is crazy to me. But that's why we still do it. And that's why, I bring my parents, Liz and Rhett, and it's just grown with big sponsors and big money. Just like having the almost $30,000 payout for a championship with no entry fee. Like those are the things that you never would have thought of, but there's so many people that get involved and just love it. Like I said, everybody on Saturday, there's that meme that I seen and it's like everybody's got black paint underneath their eyes. On Saturday, it's game time. It's competitive. It's a trash talk. But, on Friday night after the tournament on Saturday, like everybody's buddies, they're hanging out. There's probably some $20 bills getting signed for sure. I'd hate to know how many signed $20 bills has been going around in circulation the last couple of years. Almost every tournament I see several of them. I have to have extra markers now just for Donald Moore because Donald Moore after every tournament says, "Hey, I need a mark. I got a signed $20 bill I got to give away." So you think Donald would learn by now?
I never had given away a signed $20 bill. I fished with you one time. I gave away my first signed $20 bill, and then the very next weekend I give away my second. So I don't know if that's you or, I'm sure it's me, but I think it's probably your fault.
It ain't my fault. I mean, we just had a rough day.
No, the whole idea, I think you cursed me, and now I'm just going to lose them all the time.
You just remember, you got to make sure you bet, you know what I mean?
Yeah, bet.
Gotta be careful who you bet. Yeah. Aaron says, do you guys do anything for youth anglers? Yeah, we have some prizes for youths. We haven't really had a lot of youth, the last couple years for the most part. Very few. But we'd love to get some more youth involved. And some of the events we'll have some youth prizes. But we'd love to kind of get back into the youth, points and stuff. But we just really, this year, didn't really have any youth almost at all. Maybe fished just a few tournaments. That's it.
I'm a youth. I could pass as a youth angler, maybe an XL youth angler, but I think I could pass.
Yeah, and right here, Wally hit it on. I mean, this is important for everybody to know. If I had $1, like I said, Charles Blair will believe anything you tell him. But that's a good one. If you guys read this, good friends telling a bunch of fishing stories, bunch of lies at the captain's meeting. So that's what's fun is Friday night, just because, Donna Moore comes up and he says, hey, man, we caught him. He maybe rubbed his whole sweatshirt. I don't know where he got the fish slime at, but he definitely didn't catch any fish. Maybe it's an old sweatshirt that he just kept in a bag to wear to the captain's meeting. But he said he caught them shallow. Man, they're just on fire. He was using small shad heads and blah, blah, blah. I would go along with that story and talk about it. But when I go out Saturday morning, I don't care what anybody told me what they did on Friday, because I would say, what I always call it is doc talk. I don't believe any of it. It's just a lot of a lot of crap. Yeah, so definitely be careful, like what Wally said at the captain's meeting, listen to too much. But you got some good buddies there. Chris White's there and you need some bait. Chris White's going to give you some bait. Is Chris White going to tell you where to catch fish? He might tell you like that he's catching fish, but don't ever go. There's so many people that go, man, what's his name was doing this. And then back to, what Cole and I talked about is just because Chris White is catching fish here doesn't mean that you can or the fishery is still going to be there.
Yeah, maybe you don't have as much skill as Chris White. You're not going to catch him behind that dike.
True. Yes, Dustin Milford Champ was a youth. We'd like to see you at a couple more tournaments. Make the championship next year. Could be close to you. You never know. Every tournament I fish, I usually fish with my kids. One is 8, one is 13. So one rule change for 2025 that you'll notice is it'll be 3 anglers like it always has been, but we're adding, it could be 3 adults plus 12 and under. So if me, Cole, and Chris White want to fish a tournament together, and Cole wants to bring his son that's under 12, and I want to bring my son that's under 12, you're welcome to do that. They just have to be 12 and under, and you can have as many 12 and under in the boat as long as your boat, capacity is good. So that's the one rule change on anglers in the boat is 12 and under, you're good to go. So that's something that we talked a lot about, and we're going to allow that. You do need to quit having so many kids, Dustin. How many do you have now? I think I've lost count.
I've got a question for you for Alabama, Alex.
Yes.
So do you need a captain's license to pilot a boat in Alabama?
Yes.
Yes.
I do think that is true. Not a captain's license.
Or a boating license, I guess it's called, not a captain's license.
So anyone born age exemption for Alabama, and I need to make sure this is all correct. Age exemption is anybody born before April 28th, 1954 is exempt from a boating license requirement. And so effective October 1, 2024, non-residents may operate a vessel upon the waters of the state only after obtaining a valid boater safety certification or vessel operator certification issued in his or her home state or country, or after obtaining a non-resident Alabama boater safety certification upon examination. So I think I'm going to clarify this more. To give you an example, I know Missouri, so Trey, you're right. Missouri really screwed me because I think Missouri is if you were born after 1984. I was born in 85. So I took one, and this is what I want to know. I took one in when I was 12 years old for the state of Illinois, I got my boater's safety license, took the class, like a 2-day class. I think that when I took that at 12 years old, if I can figure out how to prove that, then that covers me for everywhere. So as long as you take a Missouri course or Illinois, then you're good everywhere. But a lot of the states are starting to do that. I know Missouri just recently started it. So what I assume is almost every state will have that for their lakes and probably at some point the rivers.
Okay.
But
yeah, I was curious on that. I had to get a Missouri hard card, but I was curious about the Alabama rules too.
yeah, Aaron, actually, I think you're right. It's not a license. It's like an education course. And John, if you're still on here, I think John took the Alabama one, I think, and it's supposed to take you. John, correct me if I'm wrong. It's supposed to be like a 3-hour class, and it took him 7 hours. That doesn't sound right, does it?
Which John are we talking about?
John Williams.
That sounds right.
No, so I'm glad you brought that up. I will confirm that Missouri is only needed on lakes. I don't think it's needed on the rivers. Yes, no, Sean. As of right now, I think you're right. Texas is anyone after 93. So every state is going to that. I wish, like the core, I wish they would just make it all across the country that you have to have one from your state or whatever, where it's not like 93 in Texas, 84 in Missouri, 54 in Alabama. Huh?
I'd still have to have one in Texas.
When were you born?
94.
Gosh, you're young.
I don't feel like it anymore. I look pretty rough for being 30.
What are you saying is weird? That Texas is after 93, or that Cold Delp is 30? Just so it's after 1979. Yeah.
I'm excited.
I don't know.
By Scott.
So yeah, that's a good. I'm glad you brought that up. I will confirm that. I need to make sure that that's good. I know that was something that we dealt with. I think they changed that like the week of our tournament in Savannah, which was another tournament that we had a lot of changes on. Ooh, Aaron says you're a pup.
I mean, yeah, I guess. Alex told me to be normal on here, so I can't respond to that how I want to, but
yeah,
disagree.
You got to bring it. You got to bring your level 10 down to like level 2.
I think I'm doing really well on here being normal.
No, you are. You are.
I was looking at the comments, the amount of people in the comments that I've met because of tournaments like Scott Linton, that's Sean, Wally, like half of the guys in here that are commenting, Nathan, John, I've met all of these guys at the tournaments. Like before this year, I really didn't know who any of them were, maybe shy of Scott Linton. And I only knew him because every tournament that I'd ever been in, he just whooped my ass in. So,
yeah, I didn't know if you either knew him that or you knew him because he was the one that always likes to put his boat up on the rock. Had to get pulled out.
Well,
I need to get that, Scott. I need to get that picture again where I can just, whenever I talk about that, I can just throw it up so everybody understands what we're talking about. But yeah, so on the Alabama thing, I'll look into that. And then also, the bait thing has changed a lot. So I think you can only in Alabama have a possession of 50 skipjack, which honestly, 50 skipjack is a ton. Huh?
My camera keeps glitching. It keeps doing something weird.
It could be possessed. I don't know.
It probably is. It's my wife's. See
that's what Devin said.
Yeah, I'm being very normal.
Devin, when you're on here, are you going to have to be a level 2 or you're going to be good? Aaron says, hope to meet you both in Bama.
Scott
said fish are shallow. You read that?
Yeah, I read that in the group chat when it went down on Sunday. That was pretty interesting. Yeah, Brandon, I don't think a lot of people do know about the boater safety course. It's kind of something that's sprung up here recently in a lot of states, but some states have had it for a while.
Yeah, I think Missouri's had it for several years, but Alabama just actually it's effective October 1, 2024.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I'm not calling any Twisted Cat people out. I've seen plenty of people on the water that shouldn't be driving a boat. And you know what's? I was talking to a dealer, and you know something interesting. You don't have to have a boater safety certificate from the state, but if you go rent a jet ski, you're good to go. But if you go take your own jet ski, you got to have it. What do you think that if you're going to go rent a jet ski that you should probably have one?
Jet skis are water fleas. I'm surprised that they don't have to.
Or but even if you're going to rent a boat, you don't have to have one.
It's only if you own it.
I think that's crazy.
That's interesting. I'm from Illinois. Awesome state. The best.
Devin said, "Where are you from?"
Yeah, that's what I was responding to. I'm from Illinois, like central Illinois, kind of.
He said, "Oklahoma, we don't have to have any type of boater safety course."
Yeah, Sean, that's why I ended up getting mine, is because I was going to go to Lake of the Ozarks, and to take my boat out there, I guess I had to have one, so I went through the course and then didn't even go.
So, Sean, when you rented one, so did you have to take like a 3-hour course before you could rent the boat?
I wish John was still on here to respond to his 7-hour course.
Yeah, I don't know. Aaron said all bass fishermen should have a boating license.
I think the bass
Nathan,
fishermen,
I don't know about
small wake.
divider. What did you say?
I said at least the bass fishermen have a small wake. We about got run over by a pontoon boat on Pickwick, and you know, the bass fishermen, their boats zipping past us was kind of annoying, but then pontoon boats almost running into us was really annoying.
Yeah, really, the fishing boats have it together. It's the pleasure boaters, especially if they've been out and they've been drinking. You know, you got to watch out for, especially on some of these places that we go. You know, it's luckily we're out of the water by 2 or 3, but you know, some of the places are pretty heavily, especially Savannah area. I mean, you couldn't do a tournament in Savannah before October, I don't think.
Right.
I mean, imagine doing a tournament in July in Savannah.
I'm good at sign language, so I mean, I could tell them, you know, stuff from afar. I mean, if we had to do that.
Huh. So yeah, that's good. I'll do some more research on that, but I think you're right. Alabama, unless you were born before 1954. Is that what I said?
Yeah, I think it's 1954.
Yeah.
So I got another question on the Alton Classic.
Yes.
So we're going to have that in June, and it's going to be pool 26, I think we established, right?
Dalton Classic?
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be a pool 26 tournament.
Perfect.
Not the Alton Classic that I'm doing, but yeah. JT gets it. JT, I know you're laughing right now. Well, maybe Twisted Cat is going to have to do a 3-hour Facebook Live and test. That's actually not a bad idea. I'm gonna have to do it. Oh, I couldn't imagine. Have you ever done spoonbill? You ever done that? Trolling or whatever?
I've never fished for spoonbill in my life.
Yeah, anybody wants to take me? I really do not want to take my boat because it seems like it's a bloodbath, and
Don't want to get it
I don't.
dirty.
It'd be cool to go. I've never, like I said, I think they pulled dipsy divers or whatever. Let's see. Oh my.
Yeah, we don't always go through with stuff. It's okay. So, Alex, why did you get into running tournaments? Was it because of the love for being a tournament director or the inability to catch fish?
No, really, I mean, if you want to compare trophies anytime you want, but I'm extremely competitive, and then when I got into fishing, there really wasn't a lot of tournaments, and I fished several of them, and then I just like I already was doing DJing on the side, so I had I did a lot of events, weddings, different high school dances, stuff like that, and then was getting out of that. I had a trailer, and then just went into the catfishing stuff, and it just kind of grew. I had a fiberglass boat, sold it, and got a 20. My first boat was a 1984 24-foot pontoon, and it had a 76 70 horse Johnson. Went about 12 miles an hour downriver. It would take on water, so I always had to, every time I pulled the pontoon out, I had to unscrew on each tune because they were full of water, but had a blast. So you can imagine me. I wish I could find a picture of that old bad boy, but it was a fishing machine. Had that, and then I bought a Sea Arc Easy 200 to kind of have a little bit of both worlds, fishing and pleasure boat, and then bought a Pro Cat, and then kind of from there just kept doing tournaments and traveling. Kind of like you, man. I went to Montrose on the Ohio as my first big tournament, and then started doing the Sea Arc Owners tournaments, and just kept doing it. Like I said, I wish I could fish Twisted Cat or other. There's just not a lot of tournaments that I can personally fish. We don't have a lot in our area really, besides like the cookie jar stuff or,
right.
Very few that I can fish anymore. So I only fished, I think, 3 tournaments last year. No, 2, which sucks, but because I promise you, I want to be out there every tournament fishing against everybody.
Yeah, I got a song made by AI that talks in detail about you being on the bank and stuff. It's pretty good.
It is. I will be honest. It's rough being on the bank. It's rough. Lake those is a good time, and yes, it gets messy.
I think highlight that comment from Sean Porter because I agree with that wholeheartedly. A lot of useful information on the test. Everyone who drives a boat should take it. A lot of navigational information's on the test. There's a lot of guys out on the water, and I was one of them too, that, you kind of got an idea of the navigational symbols and stuff, but realistically, you don't have much of a clue. You go through that test and you really learn a lot about directional, things for our waterways.
Yeah, and like I said, that's the most, especially like when you go down south. When I went to Venice a couple weeks ago, and then the Chafalaya River, like that's a little especially somebody that's boated their entire life. It's a little nerve-wracking down there because you start getting into things that you don't know, like shipping lanes, and there's not a lot of water, and navionics is kind of so because the tides change, and you got to really have your head on a swivel. But even back home, I think everybody that that fishes like local lakes, they hear the Mississippi River, they think the Mississippi River is scary, it's deep, it's fast, and all this stuff. But once you get on it, it's not. You just gotta take your time. Maybe if you're that nervous, go out with a buddy. Ask questions, but you got to be smart.
Respect it.
You got to respect it 100%. What is Wally saying?
Apparently he sent you a photo. It's probably not able to, or not, probably not something that you should post or show the crowd. So
I don't know how he gets this stuff. Wally might be the new like behind the scenes Photoshop guy. I gotta show this one because it's that good. It's actually a picture of my first boat, but the picture of me, it was not that's a new picture. I don't know where he comes up with this stuff. Old Wally for the win. I don't know where in the world he got that picture of me, but that's really, really good, dude. That's impressive. How you got like the sonar light off my face, but that mustache is from like last year when I lost a bet.
That's a pretty substantial caterpillar.
Dude, what do you think of that pontoon right there?
I think it's got a pole barn metal roof.
It does, and see the fringe hanging off of it. But that was a custom pontoon. I had a little box in the back. You can see the rod holders. Had 6 rod holders off of it. A little hummingbird, like 797. What do you think of the lawn chairs?
Yeah, that's how we started. We had lawn chairs all over the place.
Yeah, so that was my first fishing boat for 2 years. Now, the bad thing is I really couldn't travel with it. So if there was a tournament more than probably an hour away, I wasn't going to it because the trailer wasn't going to make it there.
Right.
But this thing was a beast, man. This is what I did for 2 years. I fished out of this pontoon hardcore. It was a 12-mile-an-hour. That was a 2-stroke 70, and she purred. Stainless steel prop. But the guy right there is Jason Kaler. He's the one that got me into the sport. And I had this boat. I bought my senior year, me and a buddy. We split I think we both paid maybe $1,500 a piece and then just kind of redid it. And it was kind of like our little party barge, living right on the Mississippi. And then I kind of turned it into a catfish boat and caught a lot of catfish. The first catfish I ever caught was out of this boat, first blue cat. This is probably the second trip that I ever took chasing catfish. And if you've ever fished pool 20, you know exactly where I'm sitting. Exactly where I'm sitting. It's a good spot.
I like the pool noodles up there. That's pretty nice touch.
Got the pool noodles, got the speakers. See the speakers there?
Oh yeah.
She was a booming. And in the very front, I had a one of those like totes, like 400-gallon totes was my live well.
Nice. You ever put any big fish in that one?
I did. Yeah, that was I used to have the Mud Bum hoodie. Won't it off Catfish Weekly, I believe, on a Monday. I'd rather be on the Missouri for sure. Less pleasure boats. That's true.
There's definitely a lot less.
Stash. I kind of enjoyed having a stash.
I can't really.
I lost a bet.
I've been growing the same mustache for the last 30 years. I can't really shit talk anybody about mustaches.
He was jamming a Nickelback. You know what? I probably was having a little Nickelback.
Everybody hates Nickelback now, and they don't even know why. They just hate Nickelback.
Yeah, I don't get that either. It's like Creed too. Don't they hate Creed also?
Oh, no, I'll kick the front door off the hinges. Somebody plays some Creed, I'll get down.
Kick the front door off. Oh my! I think Aaron's he's Nickelback.
It's all good.
That's a big flex is when you leave the boat ramp at a Twisted Cat event. It's to crank some Nickelback. That's going to get people fired up.
Or pissed off, but I mean, either way is kind of
Or
funny.
pissed off, yeah. They won't follow you to your fishing spot, I promise.
That's perfect. Hopefully the fish like it.
Well, I appreciate the I just don't understand how he is really good at Photoshop, which is kind of scary. I don't get it. Maybe a little backstreet. Nathan, you better stop, dude. So, Cole, you remember Nathan catching all them fresh bait before the cookie jar tournament? I called Wally, and he's like, dude, we could barely get the net up out of the water. He's like, our fingers are about to fall off. It was so cold, and we had to throw all this bait back. I'm like, well, I'm sure they got a few. I mean, we don't need much. Cole spent 6 hours trying to catch bait, couldn't catch bait. I couldn't get to town to catch bait. And you know how much bait that Nathan gave us? None. And you know what I told him? I said, I'll remember that.
That's okay. Somebody else hooked us up. I mean, I got bait. It was just not very good bait. But
Yeah.
I did use my bait to catch my big fish. So
Greg, for 43 boats so far for Bama Blues. When I skip weighing because I didn't catch anything worth weighing, I'll jam out to some nickelback.
I'll weigh in a 2-pound catfish at weigh-in. I do not care. No shame at all.
Well, the best one I ever hear.
I weighed a
This is a good
5-pounder in at New Madrid.
A 5-pounder?
Yeah.
So what I hear from, and it's always the same guys, but and you'll start hearing this soon if you haven't yet. They threw 85, had 85 pounds, threw them back. Would have been in the, this is the best. Would have been in the money, but we threw them back.
Mm-hmm. Nope, that'll never be me. I'll weigh a bullhead. I seriously don't care.
Yeah, Greg, you can register at the captain's meeting. So where do you sign up at? The Facebook sign up doesn't work. John, there isn't a Facebook sign up, but we'll show you real quick. Actually, really quick. You still here, John? Wally said, Cole, wait until you have to catch that 2-pound fish in a Pro Guide live well. Oh my gosh, that's, you know what? That's what Larry Muse has, is he always has boots and gets in the live well.
My live well now is 90 pounds. So, I mean, the Pro Guide live well is not too much bigger. And I can catch my 2-pound fish just fine in there.
Yeah, hold on. I've seen you guys chase your fish at Keystone. So wait hold on.
Hey, we got them all out there.
You did get them out. All right, John. So twistedcatoutdoors.com. It'll show up as home. You'll just go to registration, scroll down right here, click on an event to register. You just click on Bama Blues, and then it'll open up in another page. If you have any questions at all, feel free to give me a call. Where is the picture I sent you at Keystone? We were fortunate to. Oh, yeah. I got to have a folder saved on my computer for some of these pictures. Scott Linton's boat, too, you know. His whole boat was completely sitting out of water. Huh?
Why do you hate on Scott Linton so much? He's such a good guy.
Oh, I love Scott Linton. I'm just saying he's got a – I don't know who took the picture, but his boat's just sitting there, and it's barely in water. Like I guess he didn't realize it was going to get that shallow, but let's see. Yeah, John, if you have any questions, give me a call. And for those that are watching, like I said, you can register online at twistedcatoutdoors.com. You can register during the captain's meeting on Thursday or the morning before the tournament starts. We should have a good turnout. Pretty excited about the first tournament, Bama Blues.
What do you think the weight's going to be?
Huh?
What do you think the weight's going to be?
5 fish, 2 over. 155.
I was thinking 165. Someone's going to bring in the 160, and I'll probably have the 5.
Yeah, you gotta have faith, dude. I think you got this. You gonna? What are you thinking? Are you gonna go down there and drag? Are you gonna spot lock, anchor, shallow water?
I'm gonna go down there and cook breakfast and lunch, and hopefully catch a fish.
Yeah,
we'll probably drag. If drag super slow or anchor.
Aaron said, "Is there a boat limit?" No, there is. We're not capping any events this year, and then trailering. Yes, we are allowing. Once you check in, you can put your boat in right away at Ingalls, or you can put in any public ramp on Wheeler. Like I said, we're kind of pretty much just copying what Georgia's doing last year, since we had just taken it over kind of last minute. Hot boat breakfast is the best.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd steaks. You cook steaks for us.
Yep. Alex surprisingly let me splatter grease all over his Pretty Dynasty, and we had some nice ribeyes.
And they were good. And not only did Santa cook them. Not many people have had Santa Claus cook steaks on their boat.
We got that picture. Can you pull up that picture of us just so people can see how happy you were?
You mean of us as in
like
you
not
cooking or steak?
Like not the pictures we took at your house. I'm talking about the ones we took on the dock when I was wearing a Santa costume.
Oh, this one here.
Yeah, look how happy he is.
I am happy right there. I mean, come on. Did Tom have a beard to go with his suit?
He had a real beard. I don't grow a beard, so I had to buy one.
That was a fun day right there. Look at that. These two out there with not a care in the world.
I'm glad we didn't bring coffee.
Yeah. There's the boat at the Klondike boat ramp, which is awesome. There's the bait that we didn't get. I don't know. Here's the sad thing. That's probably Nathan giving bait away, but wouldn't give us bait.
He told me that he would have given me bait, but since I was fishing with you, he wasn't going to.
Yeah, well, we'll remember that. There's Sean, his wife. They came all the way from Iowa and put the smack down on some people. New team right there. Everybody did pretty good, really. And there's the giant. Look at the tail on that thing. There goes your hat. You know you caught a big fish when it smacks your hat off. And the worst part about that is then the whole back of your head is like sticky until you get to take a shower.
I wouldn't know. I don't catch big fish.
Jordan Collins. Now look at that. Two brothers right there.
There's Scott Linton.
Let me ask you this. Are these guys related? Because they look alike.
I have no idea.
They could almost be twins. Oh, look at this crew. See, we just didn't get skunked. We just thought it was a one fish, bring your best fish in.
Yeah, but we threw the 75-pounder back because we didn't think we was going to win.
Well, and then the one we lost at the boat.
Yeah, that one too. That was probably a 155-pounder.
Oh, yes. Look how proud he is. I'm framing that. Nathan, will you sign this picture for me, please?
I might put that in a picture frame at my desk in the office.
Oh, my. I'm going to do some Photoshop on that. Look at how messy that got his bibs. Look at that. That's incredible. Look at that. That fish just wore him out. You thought he just saw the Christmas tree full of presents with that face right there. Yeah, I'm printing that. That's getting framed right there, Nathan. That's where we got our bait, Mr. John Berglund. He had a good day. And then they took the money home. It was like $850. And that's Santa Claus with another blue cat.
Perfect. That was fun.
So yeah, so that was fun. Nathan, I will honestly, the one lost at the boat, I heard you named it. Devin, what pound do y'all consider big fish? Really anything over 50 pounds, I think I would consider a big fish.
I think anything over 10 is a big fish. That way I can catch big fish all the time.
Let's see the one. Got to catch up on some of the John Orr. You already posted 25 schedule. I got here a little late. No, just go to the events and you can see. I'll have the schedule hopefully posted this week. I'm actually going to work on it here. I need to get off this podcast to get on with Cody. Aaron, we're not, as of right now, we're not doing any kind of monster week for this event, this Bama Blues, but working on it for next year for sure. 6 rod limit and use. Yes, Mike. And yes, I think I should start doing an award each tournament for the best story about the one lost at the boat. What do you guys think of that? Should Twisted Cat have an award for every tournament about the big one lost at the boat? Let me know your thoughts on that.
You should make a participation trophy and give it to good anglers as an insult when they do bad in a tournament.
That's terrible. Okay, I did find last photo, and then we'll jump off here. But this is what happens when you don't read your maps, your navionics, and you're listening to Nickelback. So you can imagine Scott Linton running up this little canal right here, Nickelback, probably Rockstar playing. Do you think?
Yeah.
Cole, did you just about fall back? Hold on. Are you good?
Yeah, I was stomping at my son who's in there screaming his video games.
Okay, I thought that you almost fell out of your chair. Okay. So, anyways, if you guys can imagine Scott Linton, this is him full throttle, and Nickelback Rockstar playing. Look at the rocks around the boat, and then look at under his lower unit. I wonder how the lower unit fared on this deal, but the fact that he walked this far away from the boat to take a picture is kind of weird too.
Yeah,
I gotta get this framed. So Scott, I need you to sign this photo. I'm gonna get this framed, and definitely the one of Nathan. I'm glad I seen that one of Nathan again. That's a solid picture. Yeah, when they're biting shallow, this is what you do.
That's impressive. That takes talent.
Yeah. Scott, we're gonna have to have you on here to talk about the whole story of that day. The Nickelback, how loud it was, how fast you were going. I mean, I'm picturing him like just top of his lungs, rock star. Oh my. All right. Well, it's been an hour and a half already. That's crazy. Time flies when you're having fun. Trim it down and let it eat, Justin Porter said. Well, hey, thanks for being on. You'll have to be on some more with me, man. This is a fun night, and thanks for hanging out with us. Scott said Nickelback Hero was playing.
I believe that.
So hey, yeah, thanks for being on, everybody. Thanks for watching. Hopefully we kind of got everybody excited for the first tournament, which is literally just a few weeks away in Decatur, Alabama. Again, once you jump on Twisted Cat here in about an hour, you're going to start seeing some events getting added. You'll see the date for the Alton Classic get added, some registration stuff. If you have any questions whatsoever on Twisted Cat, Alton Classic, Sea Arc events, Fishing for Freedom, any of that stuff, let me know. As of right now, this is the first time I'm announcing this. January 4th is the first event, Bama Blues. Monday, January 6th is when we're going to open up registration for all of the rest of the tournament. So January 6th, during the podcast, after we talk about that event, we're going to go over, we're going to start registration for all the tournaments. All the Twisted Cat tournaments. I'm not sure about the Alton Classic yet or Sea Arc events. And then what did Classic? A points event. And I'm confirming that the Classic is going to be a points event, Nathan. So thank you. And again, if you are watching this tomorrow, I know some of you watch it on your way to work. Some of you watch this during work, which is probably a no-no. But if they're allowing you to watch this podcast during work, kudos.
That's probably way better than watching it on their way to work.
True. Well, no, they don't watch it on their way to work. They listen to it on their way to work.
Oh, okay, fair.
So I listen to a lot of like podcasts, YouTube podcasts, just listen to them. And if you're watching this and you ask a question in this, I'll get them answered. But again, the fastest way to get a hold of me, just call me. Call me directly so I can answer your question, whether it's about registration or any of that stuff. But again, make sure you get signed up for Bama Blues. And we hope to see you January 4th. And then I think this weekend, me and Liz will be heading south somewhere to do some fishing. So hopefully we'll be able to do some live, maybe even catching some reds. I don't know what our plan is yet, but we're going to go fishing. So Cole, thanks for being on. Everybody, thank you for watching. You got any last words of wisdom for everybody?
Oh, no. It's better when I don't speak.
That's some of the best words I've ever heard you say right there. I'm just kidding. All right, well, everybody, we're out. Thank you so much. Have a good week. And we'll see you next Monday night. But we'll probably do some live this weekend, hopefully. So, and then stay tuned tonight after this if I can get Cody to help do some events. So we're out. Have a good week. See y'all.
Love you. Bye.
Love you.